Hey everyone, my name is Sonia Gordillo, and I am one of the pre-health advisors in the College of Arts and Sciences located in Tykeson Hall. Today, we are going to go over the PA school academic requirements. So if you are interested in PA school, join me as we're going to go over the common requirements, those that can vary school to school, highly recommended courses, and nuances in regards to these requirements. And then lastly, we'll talk about some resources that you can utilize as you navigate your pre-PA journey. So the first common requirement for PA school admissions is general chemistry. You'll need 1 year. So that is chemistry 221, 222, and 223. These are 4-credit lectures. And then there is a 2-credit corresponding lab. So that's the 227, 28, and 29. You can choose to take them concurrently, or you can start off by doing just the lecture and then adding in the lab later on, as the lecture is a prerequisite or a co-requisite for that lab. Next, we have general biology with lab. You'll need 1 year, so that's bio 211, 212, and 214. You'll want to do this order of the sequence, as 214 is a prerequisite for microbiology, which is another common requirement for PA school. That bio 213, we have a maybe next to it, and in a couple slides, we'll talk about whether or not you'll want to add that to your graduation plan. Next, we have anatomy and physiology. You'll need 1 year. So that is human physiology 321 and 322. That's anatomy part 1 and physiology part 1. Then we have 323 and 324. That's anatomy part 2 and physiology part 2. And then 325 is anatomy and physiology combined. So in total, this is a 25-credit sequence. Next, we have organic chemistry lecture. You'll need 1 quarter. So that's chemistry 331. Then we have microbiology lecture and lab. You'll need 1 quarter. So that's bio 330 and 331. And it is 3 credits for the lecture and 3 credits for the lab. Next, we have statistics. You'll need 1 quarter. So you have a few different options here at U of O. You could do stats 243, psychology 302, which is an advanced stats course, or math 425, which is also an advanced stats course. And then we have intro to psychology. So most programs want you to do at least 1 quarter of a psychology course. So that could be psychology 201 or 202. If you're wanting to double dip it with your core education requirements, I would recommend taking the 202, as that one counts as a social science core education class. Note that physics is not a common requirement for PA school admissions, but if you do take it, it's going to count towards the science GPA. So PA schools calculate the science GPA based off of the chemistry, biology, and physics courses that you have taken. So if you are pursuing a major that does require physics, just know that it's going to count towards that science GPA. It's just not a common requirement for admissions. And then with that being said, some common majors for PA school tracks would be multidisciplinary science or human physiology. So if you're a human phys major, that major does require physics, and multidisciplinary science give you the option to choose your lower division sequences. So naturally you would do general chemistry with labs, the biology sequence, and then your choice of that third sequence. It could be physics if you want it to be, or you could choose anthropology, you could choose geography or earth science for that third lower division sequence. The last thing I wanted to mention here is that prerequisites can be taken at university or community college. So at U of O, note that the anatomy and physiology sequence is an upper division sequence. Same with that microbiology course, that one's upper division. Now, if you were to take these at community college, they're going to be lower division sequences. So they're not equivalent to U of O's anatomy and phys or microbio, but it will still satisfy the prerequisite for PA school admissions. So that could be another alternative option if it just doesn't fit to take it at U of O, or there are other reasons. You could choose to take it at the community college level. Requirements that vary. So there are 4 different science courses that I do want to highlight here. So one of them is molecular genetics, where a program wants you to take an advanced genetics course. So at U of O, that would be biology 320. And then we have biochemistry. You'll need at least 1 quarter. So that's either a bio 214 or chemistry 360. So both of these are titled biochemistry. Next, we have cell biology, bio 322, and then organic chemistry lab is chemistry 337. So of these, I would say cell biology and organic chemistry lab, it very rarely comes up. And if anything, it's highly recommended. And then with the molecular genetics and biochemistry, I would say it's not a common requirement, but it does come up a little bit more often than not. And so of these, I would recommend prioritizing molecular genetics and biochemistry if possible. And you can talk to your advisor about how you can incorporate this into your major requirements or potentially pursue a minor that will allow you to satisfy these requirements. But of these, I would recommend trying to prioritize that molecular genetics and biochemistry. Lastly, we have a few other courses here. So developmental psychology is another one that can sometimes come up. So if you're wanting to complete that, that is psychology 308, and the prerequisite for that is psychology 202. So that may mean that you'll want to do that 202 over that 201. And then we have a speech or communication course. Very rarely that a program requires this, but it has come up. So that would be English 200, public speaking here at U of L. And then lastly would be 1 year of Spanish. Very rare that a program requires this, but there are a couple out there that do. And if anything, they highly recommend it. So to satisfy this requirement, you'll need to take 1 year of a 100 or 200 level sequence of Spanish. And if you're not sure whether or not to add that to your graduation plan, I would recommend thinking about what population of people you can see yourself working with, or what area in the United States you can see yourself working in. And that can hopefully help make a more informed decision there. In terms of whether or not you want to add in a second language. Next, we have that biochemistry requirement. So biochem or no biochem. And then in this specific scenario, deciding whether or not you want to do the chemistry 360 or the biology 214. Now, Chem 360 is an upper division biochemistry course. And then Bio 214 is a lower division biochemistry course. It was recently retitled as biochemistry. So with that retitlement, it gives you an option to do either or. If you are wanting to do an upper division biochemistry course here at U of O, just know that the prerequisite for that is chemistry 336. So even though the common requirement is only 1/4 of organic chemistry, you would naturally need to do that second and third quarter of organic chemistry in order to be able to sign up for chemistry 360. For some people, it's going to not feel so great to add an additional chemistry into their graduation plan. Some people look at organic chemistry and like, no, thank you. I'll do the least amount of organic chemistry as I'll have to do. Other folks are like, yes, give me more. Something to keep in mind is whether or not you want to have your options open between PA school and medical school. Now, if you're wanting to have that option open, it may make sense to do that upper division biochemistry. Reason being is that medical school admissions requirements require a year of organic chemistry lecture and lab. So you'll want to add that to your plan, and then 1/4 of biochemistry. So now you would have the option for either or. And in doing that, you're also showing your academic strengths in the sciences, particularly in the chemistry. So if you do like chemistry and it's your strong suit, I think this would be a really great pathway for you. Now, if you're not sure about adding in additional organic chemistry to your graduation plan, that is okay. There's an alternative option for you. So you would be taking Bio 211, 212, and 213 to satisfy your 1 year biology. And then that will allow you to use that Bio 214 to complete your biochemistry. Now, when you go in to apply to PA programs, you're going to use CASPA. CASPA is a centralized application system for PA school application. Now, when you log in, you're going to add all of the programs you're interested in applying to. And then part of that application process is that you have to do a prerequisite verification process. And when you do that, you're going to mark Bio 211, 212, and 213 for your 1 year of lower division biology. And then you'll mark 214 for biochemistry. You cannot use 214 to complete your 1 year and the biochemistry. So that's why we got to add in that 213 course. Now, if you're wanting to showcase your academic strengths in the sciences, you could think about those highly recommended courses or those that vary from school to school and see how you can incorporate that into your graduation plan. So take a look at those biology upper division classes or human physiology upper divisions to see which ones you would like to select to kind of showcase your academic strengths in that area. So nuances for these prerequisites, you'll need a C or better in all of these prerequisites. In addition to that, they are required to be graded. Pass, no pass is not accepted. So this is not to say that you can't utilize the pass, no pass option here at U of O. It's just to say that if you do utilize it, you'll need to retake it for that letter grade. Sometimes it makes sense to consider using the pass, no pass so that you're protecting your GPA and then you can retake it for that letter grade. Just know that a pattern of utilizing the pass, no pass is a red flag for programs, so you don't want to use it too frequently. So if you are in that position where you're not sure whether or not you're going to pass a course, definitely come into advising so that you can talk through your options with an academic advisor and make an informed decision there. So that can happen through drop-in advising, a scheduled appointment, or you can email an advisor. In addition to that, prerequisites must be taken between 5 to 7 years of matriculation. So this also varies school to school. Some schools want to have all of these prerequisites done even in the past 10 years. Some of them want specifically anatomy and physiology done in the last 5 years, or maybe they want the general chemistry and biology done in the last 7 years. So it varies program to program, which makes it a little bit difficult in terms of planning. Generally speaking, you're going to have about 2 to 3 years of a gap year before those courses begin to expire. Now, with that in mind, there is a lot of questions about whether or not programs accept AP IB credit. And similarly, it also varies considerably. So if you do have AP IB credit in courses that are prerequisites for PA programs, you may want to consider retaking it so that you're not coming across the issue of that those courses expiring due to that matriculation expiration date. So unfortunately, you may want to consider retaking that. Now, general rule of thumb here is to follow the common requirements list. And then in addition to that, you'll want to start exploring PA programs pretty early on. And the prerequisites for PA school, as you have seen, it varies quite considerably program to program. It does make it a little bit difficult in terms of graduation planning, but to begin with, you'll want to map out those common requirements. And then as you continue moving forward in your time here at U of O, start exploring some programs so that we can solidify that graduation plan and incorporate those additional science courses that you would want to take. Maybe after looking at some programs, you realize that biochemistry is not coming up, which means you wouldn't have to add in that Bio 213 course so that you can satisfy that biochemistry. Maybe you do want to take cell biology and molecular genetics, or maybe it's not coming up that often. So I know that this can become a little bit nuanced, but doing this work early on will set you up for success. Now, credit conversion, when you're looking at individual website for programs, many programs are on the semester system, which means that you're going to do a little bit of conversion as you're looking at these classes. So when a program says they want 1 semester of something, just know that that is 2 quarters. And then if they want 2 semesters of something, that is 3 quarters or a year. Now, if they list it by the credit amount, you'll need to do a little bit of math. So quarter to semester credit, you divide quarter credit by 1.5, and then semester to quarter credit, you multiply by 1.5. So there are a couple examples here if you want to take a look at that. And then if you have any questions about credit conversion, feel free to reach out to us. Graduation planning. So there are a few things to keep in mind as you're doing some graduation planning. So one of them is taking a look at prerequisites for individual courses, just to make sure that there's no surprises happening there. The Bio 214 one is the one that does come as a surprise to many students, where you have to complete Bio 212 and Chemistry 223. There's no exceptions to that. So do make sure that you have both of those courses satisfied before you consider signing up for Bio 214. The next thing to keep in mind is whether or not you need to retake a course for a C or better in a certain prerequisite. And if you do, does it make sense to do it immediately after you took that course or later down the line? So that's something that you'll want to talk to your advisor about. And then lastly, think about whether or not you want to take summer courses. And if you do want to take summer courses, do you want to take STEM courses or do you want to take core education classes? We do offer some sequences over the summer here at U of O. So we offer the general biology sequence over the summer in person. There's also organic chemistry lecture online over the summer. So that could also be an option. And then the labs are offered in person for organic chemistry. So these are 4-week intensive courses. I think it's a really great option if you're wanting to kind of accelerate your graduation plan or lighten up a sequence for the academic year by taking a sequence during the summer. So you have some options there. And kind of similarly, if you take some core education in the summer, that can also lighten up your credit load for the upcoming academic year. So these are just some things to keep in mind as you're getting ready to map out that graduation plan. And with that being said, there is a video on our YouTube page about how to map out those sequences that goes over those prerequisites and just like the general order of those sequences. So do take a look at that. If you have any questions, email us at prehealthadvising@uoregon.edu. And then before we end here, I do want to point you to a couple resources on our website. So if we go to the pre-health website, down to the plan section here, and then physician assistant, you can click on 4-year overview, and all of the information that I just covered for the academic requirements is listed here. And you can see a sample 4-year plan for these prerequisites. So take a look at that. This is not to say that your graduation plan should look like this. Everybody's graduation plan looks different, but this can be helpful in terms of seeing a snapshot of what to expect for the next few years. And then just work with your advisor on your personal graduation plan so that you are setting yourself up for success every term. Some additional things that you'll want to take a look at is our Canvas page. So if you don't already have access to it, do request access to it. There's a link for our form here on the homepage of the website. And then when you're on the Canvas page, take a look at the announcements as we have information about on and off campus opportunities. And then in the module section, we have information here specific to different pathways. So if we scroll down to physician assistant / associate and the plan section, you can download a 4-year overview PDF format of that page. So if you want to save that to your desktop, that would be really good. And then this one right here, I highly recommend that you download this. So this is a schools comparison spreadsheet. It's an Excel sheet that you can use as you're exploring different programs. So as I said, the prerequisites vary quite substantially across programs, which makes it a little bit difficult for graduation planning. As I said, you'll want to follow those common prerequisites, but you'll also want to work with us to solidify your graduation plan. So starting to look at schools early will be really important, and then organizing yourself in this process will be exceptionally important. So download this form here. And then the last form here is the activities journal. So you can utilize this to track your direct patient care hours and other experiences that you're gaining throughout your time here at U of O. It gives you a little section here to reflect on your experiences. So this is really nice so that you can write down anything that kind of stands out as you are having these direct patient care hours or extracurricular experiences. Eventually, you're going to be writing essays for your application and getting ready for interviews. So it can be helpful to look at these journal entries to do the brainstorming for that writing process. All right, so that concludes the end of this presentation. As I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email us at prehealthadvising@uoregon.edu, or you can schedule an appointment with us. All right, thank you so much.